it's like, because think about it, Sean. If you had made $300-400 million, what would your mindset be?
I'm playing video games and smoking weed.
I'm playing video games. Well, at least you're keeping it alive. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff, you know, that reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. You know, it's like those guys are self-motivated. You don't have to, like, and in this fight, like, I think that both guys got something to prove. Meaning not they have to do it, but they want to prove something to the fans. Yeah. And I think in Canelo's case, he's heard the rumblings of, like, you know, he's slipping, and, you know, and he's told you guys that, you know, he's suffered a few injuries, you know, in these fights recently, which, again, I know firsthand when you're an elite fighter, you fight through it, and, you know, Floyd's been injured in several fights, you know, but you fight through it, and you know, it don't always be your best performance, and you don't want to make excuses, and he's not a guy, obviously, to make excuses. In Charlo's case, the same way. You know, he's been off for a minute with the broken hand, but he's the underdog coming in, and he's just like, y'all discount him. Y'all think he's some kind of chump. And Charlo is coming. I'm telling you, he's coming. He's prepared. Derek has got him ready. Both guys in 15-round shape. It's going to be a great fight, man.
And then why do you think of people saying that Canelo is sort of on the decline at this stage?
I think they're crazy. I'm just saying, because I know firsthand with being close to the best guy ever to do it. It's like the injuries that people go through at this level, because they put so much into these training camps to prepare, you know, to separate themselves from the competition, and it's a commitment. And sometimes you get injured and you don't want to pull out of a fight. And, you know, he says that he's suffered some injuries in some of these recent fights, and he's fought through it, and he went and got surgery. And again, who am I to say that I don't believe him? Yeah. But one thing's for sure, we're going to find out Saturday night. We're going to find out Saturday night.
Why do you think it took them so long to make this fight, man?
Well, timing is everything. Timing is everything. Fight, you know, Jermell said that he was promised this fight 10 years ago.
Exactly.
He said Oscar told him that he was going to fight him 10 years ago. And obviously, for whatever reason, the fight never came to fruition. But what better time than now? But he's been open about it, privately, about that he's been wanting this fight for quite some time. Because you got to remember, at one point, both of those guys were at 54. Both of those guys were at 54. Canelo's grown into what he is now, and Jermell's still been at 54. But I think people are making more out of it with this moving up in weight classes. I think, this is my personal opinion, and I have the expertise in this part, is that watching a guy like Floyd Mayweather come up, especially when he started fighting at 47, to be able to walk around comfortably at the weight that you got to fight around, that's everything. I'm telling you, because Floyd Mayweather is one of the strongest dudes I've ever, like, tussled with. You know what I mean? And he's rock solid. So I think people think that's a disadvantage for Jermell, but I think it's actually an advantage for him. Now, the flip side to it is that he's in there with a straight cold killer. And Canelo. So again, it's that both guys know that they got their hands full. That's what's going to make for a great fight.
Whoever wins this fight, is that the new #1 pound-for-pound fight in the world?
That was, you know, Bud did his thing, man. I'm not going to take anything away. Let's just enjoy this.
Okay.
Before we get to moving ahead and saying that this guy's #1, because we don't know what's going to happen Saturday night.
Okay.
Because both guys are hungry, and they both are prepared. And I think they're going to give the fans a great fight.
Any thoughts? You have been part of, you and Floyd have been part of three of the biggest fighters in boxing history. Floyd himself, Tank Davis today's time, and you had a hand in Canelo Alvarez. What is the process?
No, I didn't have no hand in Canelo Alvarez. I can't take credit for that, but Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather, 1,000%. 1,000%.
What goes into that process to making these guys? They're not superstars. They are exceeding the sport of boxing now. They're crossing over into a different atmosphere. What goes into that process?
Man, and that's why I commend Eddie. He's done, and I'm open about it. I'm always gonna get credit where credit's due. That man has done a phenomenal job with navigating his career. Think about this, man. Like I said, this dude made $200 million. He made $200 million, and I'm sure that he's been speaking English for quite some time, but he's fluent with it now.
Yeah, and it's increasing the money. It's increasing the money.
And it's like now, it's like even people from our culture, they got a lot of respect for him. Because he talked that talk when he needs to, and then it's just like, oh, we like for him to talk more. So he's figured it out, and he's mastered it, you know, and that's why he's been able to work with different entities, and he's been able to extract the most money that he possibly can, and that's why you can't say enough of giving Eddie the credit. Like, that's a masterful job that he's done, because again, it's like, 33 years old, he's made $200 million, and you know, boxing, he still loves boxing, I'm sure, but it's his job. It's his job, and you know, he has so many other interests outside of boxing that he's been successful in. You know, he's a great golfer, you know, but it's lots of respect. But I still think there are a couple things that Canelo wants to accomplish in his career, and this is probably going to surprise you guys. Is like, so I was kind of doing some homework, and it was like, so Floyd has defeated 23 world champions, current or former. Canelo's at 18.
Okay.
So I think in the back of his mind, he might not have said this, that might be something, you know, short term. When I say, I don't know how he could, you know, but he's got his hands full Saturday night. But I mean, you know, that's something that it's not impossible that he can attain. You know what I mean? So imagine that if he sets his goal, if he's successful Saturday night, and that's if he's successful, he will be at 19. You know what I mean? And so just imagine that's and obviously, you know, those two fought and they did what they did. He, you know, it's no secret that Floyd's the best. You know, but again, I think that milestone is something that, you know, that a feather in his cap, that's something that he would want to go down in history as defeated more world champions than anybody in the history of boxing.
Leonard, any thoughts on the stuff going around social media, Twitter about Showtime? Did you hear about?
No. You guys got any questions? Talk to Steven.
And what about Tank Thurman? Can you shoot that down, Leonard? Is that a possibility?
It never was a possibility. I don't know where that kind of stuff comes from. It's like, I tell people all the time, Tank's his own boss, and when he's ready to go, he's gonna let you guys know. He's gonna let you guys know.
Is he coming back outside?
He put up a post today and he said that I'll see you guys in the early part of next year.
Oh, he did? Okay, yeah.
Tank has the highest selling fight this year. Do you think this can beat it?
Gonna see Saturday night. We're gonna see Saturday night. This is another mega fight.
Think you can do 1.4 million?
Again, I can't speculate on any of that stuff, because again, it's like there's so many factors that are involved with how pay-per-view works, and I don't even want to begin to start explaining that crap.
Hey, in your opinion, who do you think poses the biggest threat to Tank, Devin or Shakur?
Tank is that dude, man, and none of them dudes is fucking with Tank. And like me personally, I respect them all, but y'all gonna see all this talk about that.
I mean, so out of Haney and Shakur, who got the better shot?
It's the timing of these fights, and I can say this is that most of these people don't know nothing about the business of boxing. They really don't. They fights that they think are big. What is considered big? I don't know what you guys consider big, but Tank's been making 8-figure money for a minute.
Which is closer to being big enough to make it a big fight on their end, Devin or Shakur?
No, I don't want to get into any of that. All these guys can fight. All these guys are good fighters. All of them can fight. But I'm just saying that Tank's going to show you guys that he's better than everybody. He's going to show you guys. He ain't going to talk about it. He's going to show you guys he's better than all these guys. And again, it's like, it's different. And I can say this, it's different because everybody and I'm not talking about them two, but you just hear it more so now in boxing. Everybody got all these sparring stories, you know. But
Sparring's different though. It's not like
when you get on them lights,
it's a different story.
when you get on them lights.
Speaking of sparring, Coach Calvin said that Tank would be the best fighter to help prepare for a rematch with Terrence Crawford. What's your thoughts on that?
I really don't have an opinion on that, Coach. If that's what Coach Calvin said, I respect his opinion. He's one of the top trainers in the sport, so that, you know, I don't have an opinion on that.
If Shakur and Haney are no match, then what's the biggest?
No, I did not say that. Don't put words.
You're right. I'm fine with that. All right, but they can't fuck with him.
No, I'm just saying that's my opinion. So I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yeah. So who would be the next biggest? Like the biggest.
All those guys, those guys can fight. Those are good. Those are good fighters. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what you're saying, but I'm just saying that it's like this building becoming a superstar. Okay. Is a process. It's a process, man. I'm telling you, it's a process. You don't all of a sudden just get to go. Tank is selling out shit everywhere. Very true. And you guys, not necessarily y'all saying that he ain't did this and he. Well, people coming to see him for a reason. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you're running a business. And at the end of the day, it's like biggest. I don't think, and this is just my personal opinion, is that both of those fighters who you're talking about, they got outstanding teams. Yeah. You know, smart people, managers, they all smart. And I don't think that it would be. This is my opinion. Is that people talking about a fight happening right now? I don't think that I wouldn't want to insult somebody. You know what I mean? From the business side, because Tank's got to pay you what you weigh. He's got to pay you what you bring it to the table. And I'm talking about the business. I ain't talking about belts and all that, because at the end of the day, Tank just showed you that if you're not fighting for a belt, that don't matter. People want to see, and it's like they gonna come.
Any Sean O'Malley interest?
Who?
Sean O'Malley, the UFC.
Who is he?
Yeah. Oh, he's the one that wants to fight.
Purple hair.
I don't know him. I don't know nothing about him.
Was there any update with Frank Martin? You know,
no, I haven't seen Frank. But these fights, I think they will happen in time. And I'm not going to put a time frame. This is just my opinion. And I'm not speaking for nobody. This is just my opinion. The experience that I have at the level I've been operating for all these years, I know what it takes. And these fights that you guys think that are big at the moment, they're not big. Okay. They're not big. Because what you will see, if you tell any of these guys to go out there and do a pay-per-view fight on their own, then you'll see what I'm talking about.
Crawford tried it.
Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about.
And so Haney pro-graces pay-per-view. Do you think Haney wins that fight? Any thoughts on that fight, man?
Yeah, I like him. I like him in that fight. Yeah. Haney's a good fighter.
Speaking of building up fighters, Jermell.
Yeah.
Floyd initially said he wanted him to go right for a title with Leewood.
And y'all thought he was joking, but
the way I find these guys.
No, it's like, you know, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. Sean, you know him. You know, he's been in the system ever since he was a little shorty. Yeah. And you know, Floyd has groomed him personally. You know, and gave him, like, I can't even imagine as a kid, and you're coming up and you're 9, 10 years old, and Floyd Mayweather is your mentor, and he's teaching you all the tricks of the trade, and he's looking out for you. You know what I mean? And it's like, so the kid had every reason to have all the confidence in the world, and he's mimicked Floyd's work ethic. So he knows what it takes.
You got to watch him play.
You know, you see him out there, he's running with champ. You know what I mean? It's like he knows he got to put in that work, and he ain't cutting no corners and all that. And then, you know, he's got a mastermind, you know, that's working right alongside with him.
You think the comparisons to Tank are fair for young Jermell?
I don't like that. I don't like that because in my it's like he don't have nothing to prove. He's turning pro. He's his own person. Let him be the first Jermell. You know, Tank did his thing, doing his thing, got more work to do. You know what I mean? And it's like, let Tank do his thing. You got to compare him to nobody. You got to compare.
They could pass for Cousins.
Yeah.
Let me say this. By Jermell having you in his corner, having Floyd in his corner, coming up in such a stable and historic and storied camp, is that a lot of pressure for a young man coming into his own? You know what I'm saying?
Nope. You know why? Because all he has to do is do just like Tank did. Listen. Listen. Don't listen to the noise that's out there. Don't listen to none of that. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is how you have the ability to feed your family and life after boxing. Because these fans and the media, people don't give a fuck about you. You know, they want to see you get, they want what they want at that moment. And they don't care, like, right now, it's like, it's okay with the fans if Tank got to take some short money to go prove a point. Why would he do that? He done built himself up with the help of a great team and, you know, around the board, training team, you know, management team. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, get you a team like he got. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that in a respectful way. It's like, this game is to be, you know, sold and not told. Like, bro, we work very hard because one thing we do, we have so many advantages. We have so many advantages because we know this game inside and out in these marketplaces. That's why you have these promoters that come with the big checkbooks and they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, they don't know what they're doing. Promoters been around for 50, 60 years and they still can't, like, I mean, where we at today. And it's like, bro, it's like, we know what we're doing over here.
In your opinion, is this the best year for PBC, boxing-wise?
It's been a monster year, and guess what?
We're not done yet. It's not done
yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Still got a couple months.
Yeah. And you know more than we do.
Got some more heat coming. Got some more heat coming. I promise you that. I promise you that. Got some more heat coming. Some more heat coming.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.